We have just seen the Commission have just adopted a new package on energy, Horizon 2030. What are the main changes concerning energy, climate change for the future?
I think it's a very disappointing proposal. In a way, it is a step back on climate policies. Europe is here very clearly taking a step back. What you can see is first the climate target for 2030. It is minus 40%, so we have to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions with 40%.
This is what you asked, so this is okay, let's say?
No. We want to have more. I mean, if you look at the longer term target, we have to go to 80 to 95% in 2050. So we are only halfway now in 2030, and after 2030, only 20 years to go. So what the EU is doing is, in a way, all the efforts postponing until after 2030. So this is already a not very ambitious proposal. We knew it maybe, but it is still disappointing.
Then renewables.
Yeah.
Do we have compulsory targets?
I think on renewables it's even more disappointing. What the Commission is now proposing is a target at the EU level of 27%, which
instead of 30, what you asked?
No, it's business as usual. This is, I mean, we are already at 20% in 2020, and then only increased it a bit towards 2030. So that's no ambition on renewables, but more problematic, there is no target for the national level. So we have no idea how the EU will get to that 27%. The Commission's proposal is totally vague there, and it's really a step back, and it's clearly a signal to the UK to say, okay, we back off there. So the UK has won, and certainly not the climate.
Well, but you have for this, you even Green Party, Green Group, you will have a strong ally, which will be Germany, because they are the renewables leaders in Europe, and they push to increase this national target. Do you think there is still a place for discussion on
Well, you would hope so. You would hope so. I mean, clearly, if you look at the Energiewende in Germany, they need also an ambitious Europe on renewables. That's certainly not in the proposal now. So I do hope that Germany, when they meet in March, when heads of state meet, that Mrs. Merkel will very be critical to this proposal, because otherwise we will certainly fail on renewables.
The third target in the first package on energy was efficiency, energy efficiency. What is the target today?
Well, none. There's nothing on efficiency. The cheapest option, there's nothing on efficiency. It disappeared. Well, the Commission is saying there will be a review later on, and maybe we will come back to the issue. But that you drop out now the most efficient measure being using less energy, it shows that big business has won.
Another strong element of the first package was what we call here ETS, so the emission trade system, the stock exchange for carbon. Will it exist?
Yeah, still ETS, this emission trading system, will exist, and the Commission is proposing one more structural reform, and that is after 2020 they make a kind of a reserve fund. So if there is a surplus of allowances, that will go into a fund.
Is it that we need?
No. Well, I mean, that proposal is nice maybe, but it's not solving the issue. We have a huge surplus. It's more than 2 billion of allowances. And the only thing you do is creating something after 2020, and then if there is this surplus, it will go into a fund, but it can always go back. So the markets will have from the start a very long insecurity, and that surplus will consist until 2030. So the low carbon prices that we see now, combined with this non-ambitious target on greenhouse gas reduction, that together I can project carbon prices will remain very low until 2030.
Now there will be an internal European discussion, European Council in March, then all the legislation in the Parliament, Council. Then the problem is the global situation, and the other partners who even propose less than what Europe is proposing.
Internationally, we've promised to do our first pledges in the first quarter of 2015 towards Paris. Well, if this is going to be the European proposal, I think the US can top that. They can go beyond what the EU is doing now. So in that sense, the EU is really losing its position internationally. And
Leader position.
the leader,
yes.
well, in a way, our leader position was already being a bit confronted by other countries.
Like
Look at
China?
China,
Also.
Mexico, these countries. But if we continue like this, then we will be a laughing stock internationally. And I think what's more important is now in March, the heads of state will discuss energy and climate. This is just a proposal of a commission, and Barroso fails here. So I really do the plea now to the heads of state in March. Please make this a more solid, ambitious program. Otherwise, internationally, the EU will be a laughing stock.
Bas, thank you very much.
You're welcome.